Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Alan and Ness from the Through the Wire podcast, and this is our start, sit, risk assessment for wide receivers. Yeah. Week 8 edition. All right. Now, in case you didn't know, we do have a 3-tier system. We have our green tier. These are our low-risk receivers. Our yellow tier. These are our middle-risk receivers. And then there's our red tier. Those are the dark receivers. You don't want to go there. You want to stay away from those. No, I'm joking. Those are just the high-risk receivers. You really don't want to have to start them, but if you have to, you got to. All right? We're going to jump right into the first player on the list. It's triggering for me to even say his name. It's been dark ever since Tua's gotten injured. Honestly, Tyreek Hill.
Welcome back to the party, Tyreek Hill.
I knew it was going to be an interesting season when week 1, my first round pick was getting arrested right before the game. If you didn't know that we were going to have an interesting season from there, you were wrong. It got more interesting. Tua was out for quite a few weeks, and now he's back. Yep. And I think we're expecting a great game from Tyreek again.
All pass options are viable. Tyreek Hill can finally be started with confidence again. That 1 reception game last week, that's a thing of the past.
I have been delivered! My team's not gay no more!
The uniform was, though.
Oh, man. Wow. Who's next on the list? Wow.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, yeah. Say amen, please. I'm joking. No, it's definitely
number 1 wideout from the Detroit Lions.
Come on now. You know what it is.
Facing the terrible team in the Tennessee Titans. Even though they have a very good defense, we all know how it goes with these bad teams that have good defenses.
That's it.
It's a bend or break. It's bend or break.
That's it.
The moment the defense breaks, it's over. All confidence is lost. You're done. The next, you're giving up big plays, and Amon-Ra's going to be a beneficiary of that.
That's it. that is it.
As simple as that.
All right. There's nothing else to say here, man. I don't care who they're going against. Just put them in. All right. The next person, and this is the last one in our top tier of our receivers, we have Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase from the Cincinnati Bengals. You guys have seen it. He's been Mr. Consistency this year. Chase, well, let me wheel it in.
At least the first 2 weeks he wasn't Mr. Consistent, but
I want to say this. He's been as consistent as he can be. Jamar Chase has been a boomer bust, but when he booms, he booms.
Is that point.
Okay? He's had a couple of games where he's gone over 20 points. He's had a 42-point game. And honestly, he is really one of the top receivers in this squad. It's really hard to sit him down at this point, especially when they're in the playoff run. And they're going against an easy team like the Eagles. The Eagles' defense is not very competitive this year. This is a team you can throw on. Start them.
This is a team that wants to make it to the playoffs. So they're 1-6, 1-5. They want to make the playoffs, so they're going to make sure that all their playmakers get the ball, and he's one of their top playmakers.
This is not looking good for them, but there's still a lot of weeks left. It's week 8 right now. We are going. The NFL goes to week 16.
No, 17. No.
17?
Well, technically 17 games, so week 18 technically.
18. Week 18. Okay, so we're at week 8 right now. So technically week 18. We got about 10 weeks left. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen.
I don't even think they have that bye yet.
All right, we're going into the second group now. This is our middle tier. This is our yellow tier. The first player next.
We got the CeeDee Lamb. They're facing San Francisco, and San Francisco's defense has a lot to prove right now after coming off that big loss to the Chiefs.
Yep.
Dallas is coming off a bye. I know he's the number 1 receiver. They're going to want to get involved, but he's probably going to get a lot of extra attention. I can honestly see Jalen Waddle having a bigger game than CeeDee this week, just because San Francisco is going to game plan for him and try to take him out.
Yeah, I can see that. But San Fran's hurting too.
They are. They're
a little bit hobbled right now. Mm-hmm. It could be a good game for everyone on the team right now. Dallas could actually have one of their breakout games this weekend, honestly. I don't think that the 49ers are a weak team by any means, but they are honestly wounded. And I think that right now they're going to be shuffling the cards a little bit, trying to find a way to, like, create some identity for their offense. And while they're doing that transition, which I'm pretty sure they're going to get down, but at this moment, this might be the one window where Dallas can try to sneak a win in. So, I mean, CeeDee Lamb might be the beneficiary of a lot of that. So he's a start. Next player on the list, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is going against the Cincinnati Bengals. Right now, A.J. Brown has been somebody who's been consistent since he's come back from his injury. I believe that he had his 3-game absence with his hamstring injury, but since he's come back, he's been putting up close to damn near over 90. Well, he put up 116 yards in his first game back and 89 yards in the second game back, and he's gotten a touchdown in each of those. So at this point, I don't think there's any other question here. When we're looking at A.J. Brown going against these Bengals, he's a start.
He's going to eat them alive.
Okay, he is a start.
That's secondary.
And I don't even think he's a middle risk receiver. I don't know why Yahoo's rankings suck like this, but based on their rankings, he would be. Based on we created our tiers based on the ranking system, but these players, they're obviously ranked way higher. I actually think he needs to be in a green tier.
Me too.
He does not need to be here.
Especially the next player also.
Oh, Yahoo, you guys really just hate us.
like A.J. Brown is a start regardless of week. Man, it's just like you can just set him as you know he's an integral
set
part of
him
the
and
offense.
forget him. It's easy.
He's an integral part of the offense.
Come on.
And the same thing with the next player, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
He's arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league. Why would you not be starting him?
Why? Why are you looking anywhere else?
It's that part. If he's healthy, he's out there. You're going to use him.
Start. Justin Jefferson. Now, this person, the next person on this list is Drake London. Now, I would have joked around and said he's definitely someone who deserves to be middle tier before, but I believe he's earning his spot as a top receiver in the league. Drake London has actually surprised me.
The big Kirko effect.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins has definitely made him a star this year, and I think that you're going to see a lot more of this kid in the years to come. I'm really just getting put on. I'm not going to lie. Somebody I have not been paying attention to in the long run, but at this point, yeah. Long story short, start him. He's that dude in Atlanta, and you need to have him on the start.
He was able to put up over 1,000-yard season with Desmond Ridder as his quarterback last season.
Says enough. And then add that all.
Nobody else around him either.
Add that all in with the fact that they're going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like right now, again,
shootouts weekly.
The same thing I was saying about the San Francisco 49ers. Same thing I'm going to say with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are a great team all around. However, they're going to be looking to change the identity of their offense after losing 2 of their top receivers this week.
There's going to be a lot of stress on that defense.
There's going to be some stress on their defense, and there's going to be some transitions. This is a window for Drake London and the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Falcons to get their quick win in. Who's the next player on the list?
We got Devontae Adams of the New Jersey Jets.
Yikes. We have a Jet on here?
Yeah. No, because, Go
figure.
He's a top 10 receiver in the league. That's why he's on there. He just happened to get traded to what he thought was a good situation. What he thought was. I mean, he got 5 targets last week. Aaron's going to force him the ball. He's going to get targets. But what is it going to amount to? Is it going to amount to 50 yards again like it did last week? Or is it going to amount to 100 yards and a touchdown? We don't know yet.
So, I mean, we're here for one reason and one reason only. To tell people one thing.
Starter sit? They're facing New England. I'll start him.
I actually will have to disagree with you on this one, my friend. I think I'm going to sit him this week. He, like you said, Aaron Rodgers forced the ball to him 9 times last week, and he only caught 3 of them. I know it was against difficult Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was his first game on the team, so I know I'm being very hard on him. I know.
Doesn't even have a full week of practice.
I know. I know what you're saying. It hasn't been a full week of practice. Aaron Rodgers also is somebody who's been throwing the ball a lot more than that, so he has potential to throw the ball. My problem is Aaron Rodgers at this point. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has not been playing up to that par.
I can
I think that personally, I'm not looking for Aaron Rodgers to create magic at this point. I know I think what they had in the past was special, but that's not. We're not there.
We're not there, and even to your point with that, to them to get to that level of chemistry back again, it's going to take a couple weeks.
It's going to take some time.
It's going to take some weeks.
I wouldn't start Devontae Adams this week. Devontae Adams is a sit for me. The next player on
we have a split. Use your judgment, guys.
The next player on this list is the next player on this list is Stephon Diggs from the Houston Texans. Stephon Diggs and the Texans are going against the Indianapolis Colts this weekend. I don't know what to tell you, man. Stephon Diggs, yeah, he had a cold week last week.
But it was Green Bay. Green Bay's been giving everybody a problem all season.
Green Bay's that team.
Yeah, that NFC North just has them defenses this year.
Nah,
they've taken on the identity of the AFC North this year when it comes to their defense.
The NFC North.
They're not playing no games.
They're looking very stout.
So that's why that's why I had a down game, because prior to that, Stephon Diggs has been a weekly must start.
Yeah, he's been consistent. He's been giving you a great bottom tier, bottom top tier, he's giving consistency at the end of the day. He's averaging about 75 yards a game. It's
and
great.
And that's with CJ having a down year.
Yeah, CJ.
So last week it came down to the defense. They were oppressing CJ Stroud. He had only 56, 60 yards of passing yards for the game. So that's not going to happen every week.
Nope.
So, yeah, Stephon's definitely he's a start.
Okay, next player on the list.
Garrett Wilson, former number one receiver of the New York Jets. Current ball dropper, pause.
Sheesh.
Missing open passes like that, my guy. That's not going to help you get more targets, especially now that Aaron's got his best friend back.
A lot of pressure on him, man.
Because he's got more. It's crazy because the kid already had pressure on him to begin with, because he was already being forced to be number one for a team that had Super Bowl aspirations with a future Hall of Fame quarterback. He already had pressure as it was. Now you add Devontae Adams to the mix, and every time you drop the ball, Aaron's just like, I'm not going to give it to you. I can give it to Lazard. I can give it to Devontae. I don't need to force it to you anymore. You can kiss that 23 target game goodbye. Aaron's never seeing that again.
So what do you think?
I'm scared because he had 9 targets last week, even though Devontae was there. He ended up he basically about hit his floor. He had no touchdowns. He didn't have a 2-point conversion, 60 yards on 5 receptions. It just comes down to him catching the ball when his number is called. He has to get his catch rate up. Now that you have Devontae taking up all this attention, you have no excuses for the drops.
So what do you think? Start or sit?
Sit.
I was trying to dig it out of you, man. I paused. I'm like, give it to me. What is it? Sit. He's a sit. I agree. He's a sit for me as well. Honestly, yeah. I don't...
I have no faith in that offense.
I don't have faith in this offense as well. But the one thing I will say is Garrett Wilson is going to actually do better with Devontae Adams being there. So I don't really have a lack of faith in him. I just think that right now the Jets are going to probably... Matter of fact, I'm changing my mind. Garrett Wilson's a start. He's a start. And the reason I say that, I think right now he's already kind of established his chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is trying to figure out Devontae Adams. So right now, if you're looking at Garrett Wilson's numbers, he only had that one spike where he had 23.
Yeah, that was that one game.
On average, he's been averaging 9 targets. It hasn't changed. It honestly just got better.
It all comes down to Aaron.
It comes down to Aaron. But he's got a de facto number one now. So it's he doesn't have to be your ancillary top pick when it comes to throwing the ball. it is going to be a lot easier for him to be open in these moments, especially when, again, Aaron's forcing the ball to Devontae all game, trying to force the chemistry to happen. These might be those breaks in the game where you get some yardage, and I think Garrett Wilson might actually get a game.
All it's come down to is...
Then they got Allen Lazard. There's so many...
Aaron Rodgers' choice to not attend any mini camps, anything preseason, like anything in the preseason when it came to establishing chemistry with your wideouts, it's just on him. Yeah. Because he wanted to be, I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm a future Hall of Famer that's 40 years old. I don't need to go to camp. And look what you get. Tom Brady showed up to camp, and Tom Brady's considered the GOAT. And that's the difference between a winner and a loser.
That's the biggest difference.
The return, Cooper Kupp is back, fully healthy. He is back. He is fully healthy. He is a must start.
Now, another thing I do want to make sure I keep in mind, I'm not sure, it doesn't weigh on him starting this week. I think Cooper Kupp is a must start.
Regardless. He's a must start. Regardless.
Nothing else to say here. But Cooper Kupp, I've been hearing rumblings that the Los Angeles Rams are looking to shop him around.
I can see it.
I've been hearing. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs were actually one of the teams that were shopping them too, but then that's when we...
You can X that out
now. That's X'd out now that we see the D-Hop signing. Now, that doesn't take away the opportunity for Kupp to end up landing on a different team. Again, we saw a lot of trades going on. I believe that the Jets were also another team that they were talking to before the Devontae Adams ad.
So now that you can X them out.
You can X them out, of course. These are teams that I'm mentioning are, of course, out of the shopping picture. However, there are still a lot of teams that you might end up seeing Cooper Kupp land on. I'm personally not going to say the 49ers are out of the picture at this point.
They just lost Brandon.
They lost Ayuk
for the season.
They do have the Ricky Pearsall kid who's still young, and I don't know. They have another year where they could go to the They do have another year where they can go all the way to the Super Bowl, so I don't think they want to give up on their season.
This might be their last opportunity, considering how much money they already have tied up in all their rubber skill positions. And I believe that next year the Brock Purdy contract's going to come into play.
Yeah.
And the way that he's been winning, he's not going to make anything less than $50 million.
If we see Cooper Kupp go over there, wow.
I think it all depends on what the Cooper Kupp contract looks like right now. I still think he has years left. I think he has like 2 or 3 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
So that could definitely...
Or they could probably restructure it or something.
Yeah, if they restructure it, yeah. Because the 49ers is definitely going to be a team. Like, if they were to get somebody like him, definitely need to restructure it. Definitely.
The next player that we have on our list is Malik Neighbors from the New York Giants. Malik Neighbors... basically, they're going to be
the New York Giants.
He is. The Giants go against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, which is a really stout defense. Now, this is the first time that Neighbors is basically going to be playing since week 4.
Apparently, he played week 7. He came back from the injury week 7.
I'm sorry. I do apologize. Thank you for that correction. All right, 3, 2, 1. Now, Neighbors, after suffering that concussion in week 4, he had a few weeks off, and he came back week 7. They went against the Philadelphia Eagles.
And got mollywopped.
It wasn't pretty at all. I'm not expecting much out of him going into this game against the Steelers as well. I'm going to say Malik Neighbors is a sit this week.
I'll disagree. I will definitely go for a start with him because it was his first down game. He's coming back from that concussion. Daniel Jones, as we both know, is a terrible quarterback. He has been, for the most part, he was producing up until last week. So I'm not going to let that one bad game deter me from starting Malik Neighbors, who I know is the main offensive weapon that this team even has.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think the only thing that stops me from trusting him this week is that this is actually going to be the hardest defense they've had to face.
I can agree.
Up until this point, the Giants have been struggling against easy teams. Now they're going to struggle. now they get the opportunity to face a real team, and this is going to be rough. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm not expecting much. But, I mean, you are right. He is the number one receiver, and he could very well go off at any moment, especially in moments like this where you're going against a hard defense. They're going to probably toss the ball even more. So, I mean, look out for him this week. I guess,
especially now when Pittsburgh actually has an offense that can score over 30 points.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a real – they're going
to be passing. We're passing a lot.
This is going to be a rough game. But, again, it looks like we're split on this. So, for neighbors, we have a start on this end. It's a sit for me. Yep.
All right.
Next player.
We're moving down the line. We're going to stay in the NFC East with Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin, he has taken full advantage of having Jaden Daniels as his quarterback.
Smart man.
This man is having a revitalized season because for the past 2-3 years, Terry McLaurin has been like one of those hot, sought-after wide receivers when it comes draft time. But for the season, like he gets you a silent 1,000 yards. But it's like it will be like you have to pick and choose what weeks you wanted to play him. Now, that whole thing is flipped. He's like a must start on a weekly basis. And it didn't even stop because Jaden Daniels got knocked out the last game with a rib injury.
Yeah.
Mariota comes in, doesn't throw one incompletion, and McLaurin still ends up. He still ends up with 98 yards off 6 receptions.
Yeah. He's been averaging about 6 receptions a game. Honestly, this he's on a hot streak. I really don't want to complicate this. Like they're going against the Chicago defense. That's not easy. The Chicago defense is hard. This is going to probably be one of their harder teams this year. However, that requires more throwing. So I believe he's going to be the beneficiary of those attempts. And yeah, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. Keep Terry McLaurin on the start position in your bench. Okay. The next player that we have on this list is Higgins. They don't love you. You ain't doing anything. Let me stop. T. Higgins actually has been doing a lot better. He started off a lot colder this year. I don't know what happened in the first 2 weeks. Was he hurt?
Yeah, he was hurt in the beginning of the season.
Well, look, since he's come back, he has been the epitome of consistency. I mean, it did take a 2-week period to get rolling. But, I mean, they're going against the Philadelphia Eagles this week, whose defense is pretty weak. That's going to be a dogfight. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight. It's T. Higgins. I think they're going to shoot it out for sure. But long story short, T. Higgins is going to get a couple of catches in here. He's going to at least give you a decent game. So he's a start for me.
Because him and Jamar Chase are the 2 primary weapons now.
It's a 2-headed monster.
Without Joe Mixon, it's a 2-headed monster out there.
Yeah, so he's. What do you think? Is he a start?
Oh, no, he's a start for me.
That's it?
He's a start for me. T. Higgins is a
start. So start him. Got the
now, we're gonna we're probably gonna have to test your theory here when it comes to questionables, because this is another one of those players that seems to he'll drag a questionable tag and then fucking go and put up a big ass game. Mr. Deebo Samuel. He was out last week for it looks like a wrist injury and also an illness, which is why he was out. Considering what the 49ers are at with their health, I don't know.
I'll say this. Even though I do have a theory when it comes to players being questionable going into a week, if you're monitoring his reps in practice and he's getting regular practice sessions in, I don't see anything wrong with it. But if the questionable tag is still there and he has this nagging injury, I still would kind of roll the dice with Deebo because he is in a position where they need him, and he's going to be fed the ball in a huge amount of reps. So I think that we're really...
He's one of those guys.
It's just about risk assessment. That's what we're dealing with, right? We're doing risk assessment. Well, here's the risk. The risk is that Deebo Samuel's isn't all the way healthy, but the reward...
He's used to playing unhealthy. So.
The reward is you're going to get fed a shit ton of balls and you're paused. Man, this sounds horrible. Yo, what? Yo,
who
wrote this? Yo, yeah, cut. I'm not saying that.
You did.
Our producers are weird. Anyway, listen, man. Deebo Samuels, is he a starter or sit?
He's a start because, like I was saying before, he has a history of this. He has a history of like taking questionable tags into a weaker game and then having a big game. I mean, if you're comfortable, if you have the option of having somebody else play and you can put him on the bench, sure.
Start him though.
Yeah, but I'll say, like, honestly, I'm just going to start. I'm tired of this. Why with him being questionable and somebody you put him out and then all of a sudden he goes up for a big ass game.
Yeah.
So like, he's one of those players where it's regardless.
Yeah. Next player on the list we have Amari Cooper.
New faces in new places.
I'm not sure how to feel about him, honestly.
I mean, he had a good first game with them.
Good first game.
I think
I did think of that, yeah.
I think like he had a good first game. That was with like barely any practice.
Yeah.
So now you get another week of practice under your belt, gets a little bit more chemistry built up between you and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Hopefully Keon Coleman doesn't have to point you to where you need to be during the play. Yo, that had me dying when I saw that.
Well, man, you gotta help the OG out sometimes.
That part. And the OG helped him eat because Keon ended up having a breakout game finally. But we're not here for that.
Nope. So, we're here about Amari.
Me personally, they're facing Seattle. This is one of those games where I think it's got like a high point score ability. I would still play Amari.
Amari in there. I would start Amari too, but I am worried though because even in his first game, the 5 targets was good. 1 touchdown saved him. If it wasn't for that touchdown, it would have been a really regular mediocre game. So I believe he's going to get fed a lot more. I think they were just kind of weeding him in. So he's a start for both of us. We can move on.
Mm-hmm.
The next player.
Jaylen Waddle.
Oh, yeah.
Another person who was basically tied to Tua in the same way that Tyreek Hill is. And that's kind of funny how we started this segment with Tyreek Hill, and it's going to end with his teammate, Jaylen Waddle.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Here's the thing, though. The difference between Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle is he's not exactly the definition of tough. So he has periods in every game that he's in where he'll be out for series because some nagging thing happened on a player or something like that.
He's one of those.
So
nagger.
Yep. So now we're gonna carry this questionable tag going into this week coming up against Arizona. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna sit.
I would sit him too.
I'm gonna sit.
I'm leaning towards sit personally. It's too many questionables. Tua's coming back. You haven't really. Honestly, the injuries to his, even the injury to his quad and the questionability about his injuries.
And like I said, he is not tough. The definition of tough.
Like you said, he's got a lot where we don't have enough surety to say you should start him. So I'm gonna say sit until you know further. Let's see how things look next week. Next player that we have on the list. So that's a sit.
That's it.
That's
it. That's 20.
I think you said Flowers was the last one.
Oh yeah, you're right. You are right. My fault. DJ Moore.
All right. So the next player on our list is DJ Moore from the Chicago Bears. Right now, the Bears are set up to go against the Washington Commanders. DJ Moore, how do you feel about DJ Moore going into this game?
DJ Moore, all right. He personally, I'm kind of iffy on because his quarterback is Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is starting to really figure it out now, but we still haven't truly established who his real main number one target really is. Who is he going to on a consistent basis? Is it Ramo Dunze? Is it Colton Kmet? Is it DJ Moore?
Or is it Keenan Allen?
Or Keenan Allen.
There's so many options.
We don't know.
Yeah. And Keenan Allen really just came back. He was injured for a large portion of the early part of the season, but even when he wasn't there, it's it seems like again, his first the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams,
right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he just started like getting
comfortable,
right? Keenan benefited from the comfortability last game.
That's a fact.
But DJ Moore didn't.
Mm-hmm. And I think I would sit DJ.
I would say sit him too. I'd say until you know what this team's looking like for him, sit him. You don't want to run the risk of having him leave you on a dud on your starting spot where you could have had someone who gave you real points.
He's only had one 100-yard game for the season.
One 100-yard game.
We're going into week 8.
So I would, and he's only had 2 touchdowns on these out of these 8 weeks. So keep him in mind. That's a sit. Yeah. All right. Last player on our list. Ness, who we got?
Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry, that's not the last one. My bad. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Who's the next player on our list, Ness?
We got Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nice.
Now, this kid he's having a great rookie season.
He is.
He's having a great rookie season.
He is.
Now,
he's
facing Green Bay. And the last time they faced an NFC North defense, which was the Chicago Bears, he only had 3 receptions for 27 yards.
Yeah. Now, that also happens to be the same game that
Davis went off. So it's going to be a matter that they just shut down the number 1 receiver.
That's what it seems like.
Green Bay is another team that is capable of doing that.
And
that to me seems like I'm going to be sick. It hurts me to say it, but I would sit Brian Thomas.
Sit this week.
I would sit him this week.
I'll be honest, it's hard to see, but yeah, he's a sit. It's a Green Bay.
The
defense is too good.
Oh, we actually agreed on a sit?
Well, we had a couple in there. I forgot.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. We agreed on a couple.
Anything to say about Brian?
DJ Moore was our sit too.
Yeah. There we go. Just a player ago.
2 plays ago. The next player that we have on the list is Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens. Man. Zay Flowers, he went down with an ankle injury in week 7, and honestly,
he came back.
He came back, but I feel like he was a little bit sore after that, and I'm not sure what that means for this week. I mean, he still has a questionable tag. Lamar Jackson isn't really consistent in throwing him the ball either.
Lamar throws it to everybody.
I'm in a position where I need to go to the playoffs. I need a sure shot. I don't need boomer bust question mark. So I would say Zay Flowers is going to be a sit.
I'm going to sit him too. Even though they are facing Cleveland, it's to what you said.
Yeah.
Like, it's all well and good that Lamar's out here throwing 5 touchdown games with almost 300 yards, but if Zay's not going to be a beneficiary of it,
what are we doing?
What am I doing here? What am I doing? I'm trying to win.
That's it. Hey, listen, I hope that you guys got something helpful out of this today. This is the Through the Wire podcast. This is the Through the Wire podcast start sit risk assessment for wide receivers going into week 8. That's a lot. Try to say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, do it, guys. Try it.
Hey, thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you for checking us out. Feel free to follow us in socials. And you be great out there this week. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you win your leagues. Do your best. The Battle of the House of Henry is coming.
Yes. If y'all only understood.
The battle for the House of Henry is coming.
If y'all only understood. Bye.
Bye.